What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's your boy Noname back at it with another Giants video. Kind of a late video. I know I said I might have got this one out a bit early, but life happens, guys. And also, it was a blessing in disguise because, as you could tell by the title of the video, I was going to discuss possible inside linebacker moves that the Giants can make, given that we're extremely thin at the position. Alec Ogletree and Tay Davis, who were our initial two starters, are injured. Not sure when they're going to come back. Tay Davis is expected to be back, if not against the Vikings, against the Patriots. Then our rookie standout Ryan Conley went down last game. He was definitely our best inside linebacker, playing out of his mind. Went down with a torn ACL last week. He's out for the rest of the year. Very unfortunate things there. We were running with basically third string guys and dudes that we elevated from the practice squad. And one of my scenarios was actually elevating Josiah Towefa from the practice squad, our undrafted free agent, who during training camp, during the offseason, really, all the rookie trainings and whatnot, he didn't really, I don't want to say he wowed everybody, but he definitely stood out. People took notice of him, beat reporters took notice of him, the fans took notice of him, and he's somebody that we could have at that inside linebacker spot, possibly see how it works out. Maybe not as a starter long term, but definitely I think he has the potential to be a good backup. And so, you know, some of these scenarios still hold some weight as we go in against the Vikings and for the future of the middle linebacker position of the Giants this season. Now, the first one is the one that everybody has been saying and praying for since before the season began. Like, literally any Giants YouTuber and any sports YouTuber whose team needs a middle linebacker has probably been saying this: sign Brandon Marshall off of waivers. Brandon Marshall was one of the best middle linebackers in the league during his prime, especially during that Super Bowl 50 run on that Broncos defense with Von Miller and Chris Harris and those dudes that won the Super Bowl for Peyton Manning just a couple years ago. And yeah, he's coming off an injury and whatnot. He is a bit on the older side, but I believe that he has something left in him. You don't just play at that level. He was, you know, a Pro Bowler for a couple years. Like I said, one of the best middle linebackers in the league, definitely top 5, top 10. You don't play at that level, and after an injury, all of a sudden you fall off. And I am aware he was cut from, I think, the Raiders, their 90-man roster or something like that, and since that he hasn't been picked up by any team since. But also, it's like nobody has really given him a chance, given him a workout. And I want the Giants to at least call this guy in and give him a workout, because he definitely has to have something left in the tank. And if he does, sign him to a cheap, the vet minimum $1 million contract for 1 year. Basically a prove-it deal, or, you know, just to fill in this year. Because I think he's better than what we have right now starting, in my opinion, until Ogletree comes back. And even then, he might be better than Ogletree. I think this guy has a lot to offer us, and is going to be really cheap too. Another scenario I was thinking of, actually this couldn't work in conjuncture with the B. Marsh signing, if we do sign him, because there's still that other middle linebacker position, which I think will basically be filled in by Mayo. I can't remember the dude's first name, but Mayo, that we got off of the Carolina Panthers, who cut him and we signed him. And Mayo and Stupar, they're our best linebackers out there right now. Given how Josiah Towefa would perform, we don't know yet. They're not guys you want starting at that position, so this is another thing you could do. There's a lot of teams in the league right now that are still winless, or that have 1 win, and you can tell they're going to start the fire sale soon, or they're about to enter the tank mode really soon. You know, teams like the Bengals, the Broncos, I'm be honest, a couple of the games were close, but I don't know. You're 0-4 as the Broncos team. Bradley Chubb, your second best player on the team, went out with a torn ACL. Von Miller hasn't been hitting home, and we don't know if that's because of something with him or if because the defense in general has just been performing bad. The offense, all things considered, has been one of the worst in the league. Like, even though games have been close, they might be entering the tank soon because they need a quarterback. And Joe Flacco's not it, you know. The guy they have behind him, Drew Lock, is probably not it. They might enter the tank. The Bengals, 0-4. They couldn't even beat a Ben Roethlisberger less, and a struggling offense in the Steelers. You know, there's a couple teams out there, specifically those two, that we could look to make a trade for their inside linebackers. Specifically on the Bengals, somebody like Jordan Evans or Nick Vigil. Send them like a 6th or 7th round pick. We got an abundance of 7th round picks. send one their way for Nick Vigil or Jordan Evans. And these guys aren't world beaters, but they have experience at the starting level position of a middle linebacker, and they could fill in our spot until our guys get healthy again. You know, it's not like it's a long-term solution. Send the 7th round pick their way, get these guys who have experience in the starting level of an NFL job and have experience at that position to come in and play for us. Because like I said, the guys we have right now, they're special teamers, they're third string guys, they're literally the bottom of the barrel in terms of your depth chart. So you don't want that out there. You know, it's more so of a safety blanket at this point. From the Broncos, I really think they might enter the tank soon. Actually, I don't know, I might make a video on this depending on how much time I have later on in the week. I really want to see if we can make a move for Von Miller, because there's been and obviously Von Miller, that would be, you know, our pass rush, our outside linebacker. But once you got Von Miller on your team, pair him up with Marcus Golden, you know, see what happens, man. You already know he could get there. You know, with James Bettcher in a blitz-heavy system, Von Miller would absolutely thrive. One of the best, if not the best. Now, I'm going to call him the best outside linebacker in the game today. You could toss that up between Khalil Mack and him. I can see why people would give Khalil Mack the edge. You know, he is younger and he has been putting up the stats more so than Miller, but everybody knows who Von Miller is. He's a household name, man. If we can make a trade for him, because there's been rumors going around for a couple weeks now, and they've picked up a little bit this week that the Broncos might be interested in a trade. That would be something I would be ecstatic about. And this kind of goes hand in hand with another situation that the Giants could pick up on here that I've also seen float about on the internet, and I myself have thought about a couple of times, and that is move Lorenzo Carter to the middle linebacker position. And at first I don't know how to feel about this. Obviously, if we get Von Miller, I'd have no problem about it, but let's just talk as though we don't get him. Lorenzo Carter is somebody that everybody wanted to develop into that speed rusher, somebody like a Robert Quinn is for the Cowboys. Relies heavily on speed, not so much on power. Just sort of like rushes past the tackles and through the guards to get to the quarterback. And he has shown nice improvement at that. But from the point right now as it stands, he's still a project. It's still going to take a couple years before he gets to the ceiling that we want him to get to for this Giants team. And given that, it is an option to move him inside because he does have the speed, agility. He does have the body frame and the body type to play middle linebacker. He plays coverage really well on running backs and tight ends. He could take up that middle linebacker spot, and he definitely has the football IQ to move into there. So that's another thing that the Giants could maybe look at. Not one of my favorites, because I do want him to develop into a pass rusher, you know, a perennial pass rusher, a cornerstone for this franchise. And it's going to take a couple years. But if things get truly, truly desperate, O'Shane Ximines has really, let's call a spade, guys. He's really put up basically this year the same sort of stats that Lorenzo Carter has. And O'Shane is a rookie. And I think O'Shane has better potential as a pass rusher than Lorenzo Carter does. Not to knock Lorenzo Carter in any way. He has a year of experience on the guy. He's been in this system longer. He's definitely bigger than O'Shane. But it wouldn't be a problem because we'll have Ximines outside there taking Carter's spot as Carter move in to the middle linebacker position. But that's just a couple scenarios that's been floating around in my head. Guys, let me know what you all think. You know, I'll run them back quickly to you. We make a trade with one of these own 4 teams, one of these teams that are going into the tank for one of their middle linebackers. The one that's already been fulfilled, that is move somebody up from the practice squad. They did that with Josiah Toefa. I won't be surprised if they also do it with Jake Carlock, who was a standout in the preseason. Preseason hero, went to LIU, you know, New Yorker type of hero, great home story type of thing. Or just take one of our guys and move them into the middle linebacker position. The best bet will probably be Lorenzo Carter. And even that probably won't be a permanent solution, you know. It will be move him in there for a couple games until we get Ogletree and our guys back. But these are just a couple scenarios out there that have been floating around in my head and also floating around the internet. Let me know what you guys think. That's all for today. I'm going to have my Giants versus Vikings preview video out on Thursday. I have Thursday instead of Wednesday like usual because I have a feeling we're going to sign somebody. You know, oh yeah, signing B. Marsh. How could I forget the biggest one, the first one? Signing B. Marsh is in this scenario. But I have a feeling we're going to make some type of roster move. And when that happens, I'll have it out for you guys. I'm out.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Put your comments down below. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Until next time, I'm out. Yeah.